conservative paper. Should that fact, the fact that so much of this reporting is coming from the Washington Times, be seen as a sign that there is a specific group of conservatives who are really out to get him?
To a certain degree, yeah. I think you can definitely draw that conclusion. You know, the Times has long had very good relationships with members of the conservative, movement, particularly within the Republican Party. They've sort of well known for having a lot of sources within the RNC, members in the states and stuff like that. And so, you know, this is not just a few members of, say, Congress or the Senate that are upset with Mr. Steele. This is sort of a broader problem.
And among the sources that turn up over and over again in these Washington Times stories against him, the name Randy Pullen comes up a lot. RNC treasurer. He's the one making these latest allegations about Michael Steele trying to hide RNC debt. Is he a wannabe replacement for Michael Steele? Does he have credibility issues on his own?
I'm not sure if he wants to replace Michael Steele. I do know that he's long been sort of rumored to be the source of some of these stories that the Washington Times and others have written. He's made no sort of secret of his unhappiness with Chairman Steele and his tenure. There are some questions that have been raised by some of Steele's supporters, saying that he was involved in some potentially sort of questionable money issues with the Arizona Republican Party. So they're sort of trying to throw a little mud back, I think. But he definitely, his motives, I think, are pretty clear that he's not happy with Chairman Steele. So,
John, the main question I have about this, and the reason I wanted to talk to you about it, is I feel like there's this Beltway common wisdom that it's not feasible to get rid of Michael Steele, that it would be way too disruptive. They can't really get rid of him. But if that's the case, why is it that there keep being these leaked stories against him? I mean, conservatives probably ascribe to that common wisdom too. Or do they know something that the rest of us don't, that Michael Steele could be gotten rid of?
No, he really, I mean, he could in theory be, I guess, but in reality for Republicans, it would be a terrible situation. It would take probably weeks to get rid of him, assuming he wouldn't just sort of go quietly, which he's made very clear he won't. And to do that would take the focus off of the Obama administration and off the Democrats right up close to the election. And so most Republicans are sort of resigned to him being around. That being said, this is Washington, and leaking is the favorite sport of members of a dysfunctional relationship, and so they decide that they want to take it out on him some way because they're frustrated or upset or whatever, and they decide to start throwing these kinds of tidbits to the press, and what you get is sort of a circular fire squad almost, where they just end up hurting each other.
John Stanton of Roll Call, thanks very much for your reporting and for your time, John. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
The intensity of right-wing rage these days against the socialists, the czars, the Bolsheviks in the bathroom, Acorn! That rage can only be suppressed by some folks for so long before it bursts forth in the most unexpected, maybe even inappropriate places. How else to explain this ad, this amazing ad for a home improvement company in Oklahoma City?
Hello, Oklahoma. Let's talk siding, windows, and roofing from Oklahoma's #1 siding, window, and roofing company, Terrell's. Energy-saving windows that tilt in for easy cleaning and make your home new again with maintenance-free siding and beautiful new roofing. Yes, I'm an Oklahoma conservative Christian businessman who stands for liberty and freedom. So let's end this secular socialism right now. And remember, for the very best in siding, windows, and roofing, at the very best price, call me. Be safe and God bless.
And this secular socialism right now. And aluminum siding. Get your aluminum siding right here. Siding right here. Secular socialism over there. Termites are notorious for their love of big government. Big wooden government. Aluminum siding. The big surprise of the election year this year so far is that Republican candidates for Senate in this year's elections are turning out to be super fun to cover. There's Mark Kirk in Illinois, who's been caught exaggerating his own military record not once, not twice, not 3 times, but at least 10 different times. There's Mike Lee in Utah, who wants to change the Constitution so people won't be able to vote for who is their senator anymore. Seriously. There's Rand Paul, who thinks if Woolworths wants to have a segregated lunch counter in the South, that's their private business. And, of course, there's Sharon Engel, who's against fluoride in water, who wants to abolish Social Security and Medicare, who says conservatives should be expected to use guns to pursue their political aims if the elections don't go their way this year. Sharon Engel is amazing. And the most amazing thing about covering Sharon Engel's Senate campaign is watching the professionals, the political pros, come in and try to put a sort of shine of reasonableness on the real Sharon Engel.
You and I have an opportunity right now to change the direction of our country. Government is not the solution to the problem. Government is the problem. We, the people, are the solution.
Government is the problem, like Reagan said, and I want you to send me to Washington to run the problem. Put me in charge of the problem. Say it with a smile. Smiles, everyone, smiles. It's less scary that way, theoretically.
It was something that I thought was somewhat newsworthy, but really didn't pursue. But when I saw that the NAACP last week was going to reassert the falsehood, the provable falsehood that the N-word was hurled by Tea Party people as part of the resolution to condemn the Tea Party, this is about politics, and this is about tarring the American people and the Tea Party movement with the false charge of racism.
That was the man behind the Shirley Sherrod race-baiting fake scandal, explaining why he chose now for his latest effort to contrive a political stunt. Why now? The third week in July 2010 to post a clip from a months-old speech before an NAACP audience, which, taken in context, is actually an inspiring story about one woman's personal growth on issues of race, in which, shown completely without context, well, at this point, you know how it all played out. An electronic hit job on a completely innocent person. The conservative website responsible for this mess had the footage of Ms. Sherrod for months, but they say there was no reason for the right wing to unleash it into divisive political battle until the NAACP joined the right wing in battle. Last week, the NAACP passed a resolution asking the Tea Party movement to repudiate overtly racist groups that have associated themselves with the Tea Party movement, as well as the occasionally racist signs and stuff that have happened at Tea Party events. By his own admission, the purveyor of the Shirley Sherrod tape and this whole scandal spun out of thin air was using the tape and Shirley Sherrod as a direct reply to the NAACP's condemnation of overtly racist elements of the Tea Party. So, I'll see your resolution and I'll raise you a 24-year-old story that, taken out of context, will make it seem like black people are the real racists. Well, into that hot headwind has charged the brand new House of Representatives Tea Party caucus, a chance for members of Congress to pledge their fealty in public to the Tea Party movement. Earlier today, the convener of the caucus, Representative Michelle Bachmann of Minnesota, posted on her website the names of the Tea Party caucus's 29 members. Whoa, 29! For a while. A few hours later, a new list was posted listing the names of the caucus's 25 members. Congressmen Aiken, Bartlett, Bilirakis, Burgess, Micah, Miller, and Wilson had been on the list, but their names disappeared and 3 other ones were added. According to one congressman's office, some of the confusion may be because Ms. Bachmann may not have explained the whole public list part of the signing up deal. It's one thing to pledge your fealty to the Tea Party. It's another thing to get your name in the paper for doing so. We contacted Congressman Uli Joe Wilson's office when he was removed from the Tea Party caucus list. His office said yes, 1,000 times yes, Congressman Wilson is a member and should be on the Tea Party team roster. But it was not until at least 2 incarnations of the list later that Mr. Wilson found himself back on it. So now, until it changes again, this is the membership. The broad, deep membership of the Tea Party caucus in the House of Representatives, introduced to the world in the week that the Tea Party movement and its champions in the media picked a fight with the NAACP. That does it for us tonight. We will see you again tomorrow night.